No, no. No, no. About. What do you think? There is no blue wire, there's only green and red. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence, because I'll have to do this myself. Green it is. Hello and welcome back to the shop. As you can tell by those intro videos, it's going to be a little bit different video than normal, and I know some of you aren't going to like it, and you know, that's perfectly fine. This is not going to be a permanent thing. I just wanted to take a break from the metalworking stuff for a week or so, and decided to do a little bit of electronics this weekend. And so the premise behind this is, if you have old video game consoles, they're kind of a pain in the butt to hook up to, especially newer TVs. I'm sure some of you older guys remember this situation here. You know, the 9000 RF adapters here, daisy chained together, hanging off the back of your TV. And some of you that are older still remember these little jewels. These guys used to hook into the antenna ports right on your TV. But looking for UHF or VHF, connect VHF. They went into the VHF section. These were the days when you actually had to get up and turn a knob for to change your TV station. They had the rabbit ears and that other little was that UHF was the loop. Remember the loop antenna? It was just an arc on the back. You had to play with everything, and then you had the fine tuner on the knobs. So you guys might remember these ones. And this one is actually a little bit different than most. This is actually for an Atari 5200, and you know, you have your little RF jack there. But if you look at the front here, right here, it says power. Your actual AC adapter plugs into the wall, and then it plugs into this jack, and then this cable goes to your TV and actually to your console rather, and actually feeds power through your RF adapter to your console. Makes perfect sense, right? So We have the same problem with the good old Sega Genesis here. This uses a RF adapter on the back that plugs in to a port. So this is one that I had modified before, and it's just attached to a Sega Cd. That's why it looks different. And you can see we have some composite video and stereo jacks. We also have an S video. This toggle switch here I'll get into later once we open this up. Now, so I can hook this directly up to the TV through the regular composite video jacks and S video, and I'll put a little bit better quality of the video. So basically, we don't have to go through these, because these really, especially on modern TVs, they don't have as much of the noise cancelling stuff as the older TVs do, actually. And these just look like garbage, especially on high definition TVs. They look terrible. So we have a little circuit to modify to be able to go with S video, and these Sega Genesis models can actually output stereo natively and also composite natively. Now you can buy a special adapter that will plug into this jack here, and that will give you composite video out, but it'll also give you only mono out. The stereo output of these actually comes off of this headphone jack. So basically what we're going to be doing is taking the leads inside and bringing them out the back through a set of jacks. The S video requires a little amplification circuit that we can do. Now, all these circuits and stuff that I'm going to be showing you, schematics and stuff, are freely available all over the internet. The guide that I'm using, actually the website that had this guide, is no longer up. I have a actual printed version from when I did this the first time on the first one. This is printed out from 2010. So I take no credit in thinking up these circuits and circuit diagrams or anything like that. There are many people much smarter than me that have figured this out. But I figured I'd show you guys how to do it, because I haven't, since this website has gone bye-bye, I haven't seen a decent write-up of it with the pictures. A lot of times you'll get the write-up, but the pictures, the posts and everything are so old that the pictures are gone. And I don't think I've seen one on YouTube, step by step. So that's why we're doing this. So first things first, we're going to open this puppy up, and or actually we're going to come over to the bench, and we're going to show you a little bit of a difference in versions, and we're going to pop this apart and see what we've got inside. Okay, so this is the Sega Genesis here, and this is called a Model 1 Sega Genesis. This is the original version when it first came out. You can tell it's a Model 1 by its big and bulky. There's a Model 2 and Model 3, and they progressively get smaller. Model 1, you can tell it's wider, and it also has this headphone jack and volume control. So what I'm going to be showing you is going to be pertinent only to this model. The Genesis 2 and 3 have different steps that you have to go about to do what I'm about to do with this. Now this is an early version Model 1. You can tell by it says high definition graphics right here. Then the successive Model 1s, different revisions, do not have this high definition graphics stamp on it. Now there are also different revisions of the circuit board, so I can't really tell until we tear into this if we're actually going to be able to overclock this, because there were two types of processors that were used, and as far as I'm aware, only one of them can be overclocked. So hopefully we have that processor in here, and so we'll have to pull this apart. Now there are other subtle differences between models. Some people say the Model 1 sound is better, some people say the Model 2 graphics are better. There were tweaks here and there. So basically I'm just going to pop all these screws off, and unlike newer consoles, there is nothing, there were no funky fasteners in here. It's just Phillips all the way. So I'm going to pop all this apart, and we'll break it down, and I'll show you what we got. Okay, so here's the setup for getting this sucker apart. There are 6 screws on the bottom. You just take that off, take the case off. Now, hooked up to this little plug here are the 2 leads from the LED, the power LED in the front. So you just fold them straight, and then that'll slide right off. It's not soldered on. This metal shield screws around the perimeter. That comes right off. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. There's 3 screws here for this, and 2 in the little power doohickeys. And so you take those out, and then there's one under here, and then there's one here and one here on either side of this cartridge slot. And you want to take the whole thing, motherboard, right out of the case. The power adapter will slide off. Take that sucker right out. Because what we want to do is look at this board. So, okay, just moved everything out of the way to get you in here. And this is one of the reasons why I choose the Model 1s with the high definition graphics label in there, because those, almost every single one of them has this Motorola 6800 chip in it. This is the brain of the Genesis. Some of the other ones have a Signetics chip in them. It does the same thing, but I don't think they're able to be overclocked, or at least I don't know how to overclock them. So basically what we need here is we need access to where our stereo comes from, which that actually originates from the stereo jack right here. And I'll get closer pictures of all these. We want to overclock this, which is the last thing we're going to do. So this is the actual clock right here, which runs at 7, which makes this chip run at 7.6 megahertz. We're going to up that to 9.3. You can't go too far with them. Some people have been able to get it really, really high, like something around 20. I think somebody got this thing running around 20 megahertz. The only problem with that is that the games will start to glitch on you, and to actually get this thing to boot would require a special stop switch where it would engage this to boot it up, and then you would be able to switch it over to the higher clock speed. So this way here, it's just a slight increase. It'll take some of the load off some of those games with a lot of stuff in it, a lot of graphics on screen, but it'll be able to just work like normal, just be able to switch it on and work. Now we also need to gain access to our encoder chip, which is where our signals for our S-Video mod is going to come off of, and that's underneath this heatsink. Like I said before, this back piece here, you can actually buy an adapter that will fit this, which will give you composite video, but it will only give you mono audio. The only place that stereo is found is on this headphone jack. And our composite signal, we're gonna bump right off of that, the back of this little plug here. So let me take this heatsink off. It's just these 2 screws here on the bottom. And right here, what we're looking for is the CX1145 encoder chip. And that's the video encoder chip, and that is what is going to give us our, we're going to amplify 2 signals off of this to give us our S-video. So we're going to start with the easiest things first, which is going to be the composite video and the stereo, which just entails soldering some wires and bringing them back to some jacks that we're going to place on the chassis. So for right now, we'll start with the stereo, and we'll just have the bring the wires out. I'm not going to solder them to the casing yet. That'll be actually the last thing that I do. So we'll bring those out, and we'll tap off that composite video signal. Okay, so this is the stereo port, as you can see, and we have a connector here that's soldered into the board, and a connector here that's soldered into the board. You can see it says 1, 2, and 3. So now what those means, which I have a printout right here. So what those mean is number 1 here is your ground. Number 2 is your right channel. Number 3 is your left channel. So what I'm going to do is flip this board around. Right here. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to solder 3 lengths of wire to this, way longer than I need, to extend these out to the jacks that we're going to put in the back. And this ground here we'll use as the ground for the actual composite too, the composite video. So we'll link all 3 of those, the jacks that we're going to put on the back, together. Okay, so 3 is left audio. Actually, turn this back just a hair. I'm not the greatest solderer in the world, so pardon the technique. Or lack thereof. Okay. Ooh. On there, and now we need the ground. So there it is. So we got our ground, we got our right channel and our left channel, and they're all pointed towards the back of the case. Okay, so now we have to pick up our video signal, our composite video signal, which I'll show you. Let me get the camera switched around here and I'll show you where we're going to grab that. Okay, so right where this funky looking connector is where we're going to pick up our signal for our composite video. So now you can see we got a bunch of pins, as you can see by what the connector looks like, and they're all soldered into the main board, but some of them are labeled. You can see a 6, a 1, I don't know if you can see it in there, but a 7 and a 3. So number 3 is our composite video. So that's the one that we're gonna take off of. So we want this tap right here, the one that's, you can see this little resistor here, it's right at the top left of that pack of was that 6, 7, 8. This one right here is our composite video. So I'm just going to attach a wire here, again pointed out towards the back, and that'll connect to our external jacks that we're going to be adding to the case. So for that, I'll just use red again, that's fine. You can use whatever, like I said, you can use whatever colors you want. I only have 3 colors here, so we're going to have to overlap, but as long as I keep track of them, perfectly fine. The biggest thing is you obviously want it touching only that one terminal and try not to overlap anything else. There we go. Oh, it didn't want to hang on for me, but we're nice and in place. So those are, so those are our external jacks. So here's our stereo, and here's our composite out. Now you can stop there, or you can go crazy and go with the S-Video mod. Up to you, but I'm gonna go for it. Alright, now for the fun part. For the S-Video mod, we have to actually amplify the chroma and luma signals that is being output by this chip here. And to do that, we are going to build two of these. This is the circuit diagram here. I'm actually going to put a link in down below, which will send you to where you can get this. I have nothing to do with making this. This was made by somebody else. I'm just putting it together, basically. And we're going to make two of these, and one's going to be for the chroma signal, and one's going to be for the luma signal. And we're going to implant all that in one of these little project boards that you get over at Rat Shack. So I'm going to place all my components here. I might not videotape it, but we'll place all our components, and we'll have at it. Okay, I kind of got this crammed on the board, so I don't know how well you can see it. But we're going to base everything off of this little amplifier here. So I'm going to put up a picture of the schematic so you can follow it along. So we're going to start with, say, C, which is going to be this leg here. So off of that leg, we are going to voltage, and a 10K resistor. That side of that resistor here is going to another 10K resistor and a 110K resistor. That 110K resistor is going to ground. That 10K resistor is going to terminal B, which is the center leg on our amplifier. That terminal is also going over to here, which is going to our 0.1 microfarad ceramic capacitor, and is also going to the positive leg of our regular electrolytic 100 microfarad capacitor. The other legs of both of those are going right to here, which is going to be my signal input. So just mark that so I know it. And then terminal E off of the amplifier is going to 110K resistor, which is going to ground, and then a 33 ohm resistor, which is going to my signal output, which is going to go right here. So that's it. I'm just going to basically mirror this on this side here, and then we can put in the overclock circuit. Okay, so we got both of our circuits all set, and I know you're asking why I crammed it all the way to the top of the board. That's because we got to put our clock in. So we're going to sit her right like this, and usually there's a marking on them, either a dot, or you can see that that is like a square tab where all the rest of the corners are rounded. So that will give you the orientation when you look up the schematic for these. So basically what we want is this side here is voltage, this pin right here is voltage, this pin is our clock, which is, whoops, sorry, this pin's voltage, this pin over here is the new clock that we're gonna bring out to the old one, and down here is my ground. So I'm just gonna get a couple of wires, and then we'll just loop those around and get those all in. And okay, so I just attached my leads to the board, and this is going to be our new clock output signal. You can see it's labeled C and L, so this is the chroma side, and this is the luma side. These two red wires on the top corners are outputs, and these two are inputs. And here's your ground lead right here, and here's your power in. So now we want to hook these up to the actual Genesis itself. So I'm probably going to have to shorten these input wires a little bit, and we kind of want to figure out where we want to place it on the board, or where we want this to sit inside the case. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pop it in the case and find the best spot possible, and just shorten these wires to match.